My girlfriend's close friend asked us to open our relationship so he could pursue her. Now I am not comfortable with her still being around him. I've been with my girlfriend, Emily, for 4 years now. Emily has a close friend named Jeff whom I have never liked. The guy has always come off as skeevy, whiny, and creepy to me. I've heard things about him from ex-friends and even current ones that paint him as pathetic and creepy. But let me get to the point. The real reason I dislike Jeff is that he has always been interested in Emily. They met in middle school, and he's had a crush on her ever since. Over the years, he has made unsuccessful attempts to win her over. Since I entered her life and we started dating, I've always had the feeling that he's just waiting for us to break up so he can try again. However, he has backed off romantically and hasn't made any advances during the 4 years we've been together. Jeff has been a sore topic for Emily and me. Even though I don't like him, she and her friends do. I've made it clear to her that I don't like him, but I've never interfered with their friendship because I've always trusted her when she tells me she feels nothing romantic for him. Everything changed last week. Jeff's own romantic life can only be described as unusual. From what I know, it mostly consists of one-night stands and being a third wheel. He openly identifies as poly, and I've heard far too much about it from him. While it's not my lifestyle, I believe people should do what suits them. However, what bothered me was how he would try to sell the idea to people in monogamous relationships in his friend group, as if he was trying to convince them to try it for other reasons. Last week, Emily and I joined her friends for an outing. We ended up at a dive bar late at night for drinks, and Jeff tagged along with us. He was particularly unsettling to me that night, more than usual. He acted overly friendly with me to a point that made me uncomfortable. As we sat and chatted, he brought up his most recent relationship from a few months ago. It was a poly relationship where he was involved with another couple. The conversation took a very awkward turn when he suggested that we should try something similar ourselves. To be clear, what he meant was he wanted to have sex with Emily, and he wanted me to be okay with it. Emily declined, and although I wanted to confront him, she made me go to her car so she could pay for our drinks and leave, knowing I was about to make a scene. Needless to say, I'm not comfortable with her continuing to associate with him. I've made it clear that his behavior was completely disrespectful to our relationship, and I don't trust him not to do something more sinister at this point. However, Emily disagrees. She believes that this is just how Jeff operates, which only makes me more uncomfortable. He's not neurotypical, and her friend group has used that as an excuse for his behavior for far too long. We have been arguing nonstop about this. She doesn't think it's a strong enough reason to cut him off, and I can't understand why. Her friend group has essentially decided to stay out of it as well. I did share my thoughts with someone I know who used to be friends with Jeff in high school, and they confirmed that Jeff has tried to break up Emily and her previous boyfriends before, suggesting that this is another attempt. She had plans to go out with friends, including Jeff, to a movie on Friday. We ended up having another massive argument, during which I told her not to come back if she left. She has been staying at her parents' house since. Right now, I feel like I'm living in a confusing world. Every strange thing about her and her friends now stands out to me. It's as if I'm the only one who sees a problem with what Jeff did, and my opinion doesn't matter. Emily refuses to explain what makes Jeff so important to her, despite his actions. It's like she sees his behavior as normal or something. How do I proceed from this point? It feels like I'm being taken for granted. How can I effectively convey my discomfort, or is it even worth it at this?
I'm gonna say it. Don't trust women with male friends. If your girlfriend, your significant other, whatever, your wife, has male friends, that is untrustworthy. And it's not even necessarily not trusting in her, it's that you shouldn't trust the situation, right? Let's start where, if you guys had an argument, well, if she turns to him, what do you think men's gonna do? What do you think that male friend is gonna do? He's going to try to be there for her, comfort her, and maybe make a move on her. Men will take advantage at women's vulnerability, at their weakest point. So that's already a dangerous thing. And not just that, right? You got to think about, how's her judging character? I think women having male friends is a poor judgment, because at the end of the day, you having a lot of men around that would be with you is not really the smartest thing to do. You're having men that would at a drop of a dime if given the opportunity, would jump to be with you. So how could that be a good judgment? Just that she didn't see that people that would be an endangerment to her relationship shouldn't be around her. So that says a lot about the type of person she is, where you see that there's someone or something that can be a detriment to your relationship, and you still keep them around. This man is spouting like non-monogamous relationships. That's also not a good thing. You should see that these are red flags that women ignore in their surroundings, right? It's a danger to your relationship. So I would question the type of woman she is, right? Especially that she has a type of friend like this, that he has hit on her and he's continuously hit on her, even to down right now, and she still don't see the detriment that this man poses to a relationship. It's also disrespectful, right? It's very disrespectful to have another man hit on your girl right in front of you, or wants to be with you when you see it and know it. And if she allows it, well, that means she also disrespects you, and she doesn't value you. She values her male friends more than you. And I believe that shows her true colors. Men should listen. If your partner values her friends more than you, well then that tells you what's more important to her, not you. And men has to stick with their boundaries. If you have a concern and your partner is not listening nor taking your concerns into consideration, nor taking actions, right, because of your concerns, well, you gotta hold steady, because now you're not doing risk management. Like I said, what if you guys have an argument and now this man, who is her friend, her good friend supposedly, is there to comfort her and console her? Well, he could be hitting on her and trying to be with her, and now, wow, she's with him. Okay, if you had stuck to your guns, you could either stop that from happening, or stop you from getting hurt by this kind of situation. Because I believe you breaking up with her over your boundaries is less hurtful than you breaking up because she cheated on you. And I've heard so many stories, and this happens quite a lot. So that's why I think one of the biggest things men do is risk management, right? You gotta look at the situation and view what is logical, what is dangerous, what makes sense, right? And I say this, it's controversial, but when women are in relationship, if they have male friends, it is a danger. You shouldn't. The difference between male friends and male associates, right? Where you talk to them in the blue moon, right? Once in a blue moon, you rarely talk to them. You don't really hang out with them. They don't really know a whole lot personal things about you. You don't, you don't hang out. You're not that close. That's different. That's different than having male friends where they orbit you a lot. You always talk to them. You're always hanging out with them. They know your secrets, or they know, they know about you really well. Remember, those are different. I'm not saying that a woman should not know any guys, but there are levels to it. Associate, right? Just a casual acquaintance, maybe casual friend, but a real friend that's been there for you for years, which I heard what she said, he's been there for a long time. Those are different.